And joining us now to talk more about this case is Lieutenant Chris Olivarez, a spokesperson for the Texas Department of Public Safety. It is always good to see you. Thanks so much for making the time tonight.
Great to be with you, Natasha. Good evening.
And you actually first shared this video of this abandoned 4-year-old little girl. Can you tell us anything about where she may be now and also what happened to the smuggler?
Well, I mean, first off, Jorge has been doing some great reporting. And actually, I shared that video because, I want the American people to see the impacts of this current border situation that we've been in for the last 3+ years and how it impacts unaccompanied children that are coming across that border. I think just by that phone call alone, hearing the mother, if it is the mother, in fact, that's another thing too, is that we don't know exactly, who the person is behind that phone call, if it is a mother or a legal guardian, whoever it may be. But it's all too common now. It's becoming more a common occurrence now, where we're starting to encounter more unaccompanied children. That little girl, she's still in federal custody right now with U.S. Border Patrol, and after that, they turn over to Health and Human Services, and then from there, we don't know exactly where they end up. We never know, and it's kind of even hard for me to even say that as a police agency in Texas that we don't even know where these children end up. All we do know is that the brief moments that we have with these children on the border, it's very brief. All we can do as a state police agency is try to talk to these children, see if there's any signs of abuse or exploitation, or if a child makes an outcry that they've been abused on their journey to the United States. But for the most part, other than that, we turn these children over to Border Patrol, and then from there, we don't know exactly where they end up.
And the smuggler has been arrested?
Well, this particular case, this 2-year-old, there was no smuggler involved. These children came across, I think in that particular group with that 2-year-old that you showed that video of, there were 60 that came across that day, 60 unaccompanied children. Now, we had multiple cases after that. We actually had a 10-year-old little boy from El Salvador on Thanksgiving morning that was brought across by a smuggler from Mexico and was left abandoned, and the child was lost. Luckily, one of our state troopers was there to able to recover that child. And also just this past weekend on Friday, there was a 5-year-old little girl that we actually were able to capture on a camera image where a smuggler was bringing the little girl across the river and then was then given to another smuggler, which we were able to arrest that smuggler. So we've had multiple events during this week involving unaccompanied children, and it really shows the inner workings of how these criminals are operating, and also how some of these family members, if they are family members in fact, how they even allow their child to make this long, precarious journey to the United States at the hands of criminals. I couldn't see myself doing that with my own child. I don't see anybody else can do that, but they've been put in a situation right now that they're desperate. They got to get their children across the border, so the only way they can do that is by paying a criminal smuggler to get them across.
Yeah, and it was an emotional phone call. The woman claiming to be the mother saying that she believed hiring smugglers to bring her daughter here would be safer than leaving her in Honduras. To your point, you say that Texas agents, just Texas, have encountered more than 140 unaccompanied children in just the first 3 days of the week.
Right.
How young are some of these unaccompanied children, and why is this happening more? Why now?
Well, the children that we've come across, the ages have ranged from 2 all the way to 17. And the reason why I believe we're seeing more of an influx of unaccompanied children, because if we go back and look at with the current administration, whatever agreement they made with Mexico to get the numbers down, they've been able to manage the numbers since January. But with that, there is no safety mechanisms, there is no protocols in place to protect unaccompanied children. That's why we're seeing an influx of unaccompanied children coming across that border, because they will, in fact, at some point get released. And I think that's where we look at, the dangers behind that and who's involved with these criminal organizations that are bringing these children across. I can't even imagine, as I said, just seeing some of those photos from the mother. There are other children involved in that stash house, and we know how stash is, how they operate. Very poor conditions. Sometimes there's no running water, electricity, food, and they're in there also with other adults, possibly other criminals. So it's a very dangerous environment for these children to be exposed to, and I think we're going to continue to see more of that, unfortunately, until we actually have some type of, mechanism in place to protect these children and to, deter the incentive from having these children come across by themselves.
Okay, Lieutenant Chris Olivarez, I appreciate your time as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natasha.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.